what's up guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. First video that I'm shooting at my new location, at the new job, in my office. Not sure about the angle, not sure about camera setup, all those good things, but we are going to shoot one, figure it out, and see what we need to do from there. Make sure you check out some of our partners, GameStrat, sideline replay company we use. I've always used them at the last 3 high schools I've been at. Highly reliable, highly affordable. Make sure you check out GameStrat. Dome Hats, headwear company I use with Play Fast Football, all the schools I've been at. This is not currently a dome hat, but we are working on fixing that right now because stock hats suck. Baker Sporting Goods company we use for coaches' shirts like this. Spirit packs, our uniforms are distributed from Baker, so if you want your players' gear, coaches' gear, fan gear, team stores all in one spot, make sure you check out Baker's. FlyRoute, we use drones for our practices if we can. If it's feasible, get them at games. We use them for our games as well, all of our 7-on-7 stuff. It's the best teaching angle. It's the angle that I always want to use when I am teaching, so make sure you check out FlyRoute. They are the nation's leader in drones for athletics. Brandtek, which is a company that did custom sublimation for me for my Play Fast stuff, 3/4 zip, a long sleeve windbreaker, custom sneakers that they made, Play Fast sneakers, custom sublimation, sports drinks, locker room, weight room disinfectants to get rid of staph infection, MRSA, some other things, so make sure you check out Brandtek. And then ModernFB, which is an app that helps you with real-time analytics in games, right? So it helps you as a play caller. It saves tons of time during the week. You can avoid some of the laborious manual tagging or the job that you have to do, manual tagging everything. And for me, during a game, it lets you stay up to date with opponents' tendencies and your play calls and what they're doing, what you thought they were doing. So rather than wait till halftime to make an adjustment, you can make an adjustment on the fly. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about tailback push from a tempo package, right? This is something that you can put into a tempo menu. You can come up with 5 or 6 things that you like, all right, all off a tailback push motion. I did a split back tailback push video a couple of years back, and now I'm going to do one out of 11 personnel and show you some of the things that I think you should be doing out of 11 personnel, right? So we're going to put the 2-speed to the field. We're going to put the tight end and the flanker into the boundary. First thing we're going to do, we're going to push the back, and we're actually going to throw him the ball, right? So we're going to push the back, we're going to block the nickel or the overhang, we're going to block the corner, we're going to make the safety either rotate or make a tackle in space. We're going to try and get leverage on the Mike or the Will, the linebacker that's in the box, right? So when you push the back, you have to have the ability to throw him the ball, because when you're playing pattern match defenses, or if you're playing 2 high structures where the underneath backers have to push and match, you want to at least make sure they understand that if you out leverage them, you can throw the tailback the ball, right? So if you're pushing him and you never throw him the ball, eventually they may ignore the leverage of the push. So one of the first things we always do is we push the back and we throw him the ball. On the backside, we start with a simple stick philosophy. So our tight end is going to run the stick route, right? If he's unmatched, he can sit it down. If he's matched, he's going to break it out. For mandatory outside release on the backside, that's where we start, right? The next thing we go to is we go to like a stick or a sit theory, to where on the front side now we'll go mandatory outside release and we'll push that vertical. You play a squat corner team, somebody that can give you that whole shot, you always have the opportunity to take that. But now we're just going to run simple. And again, a lot of you guys consider it stick in nature, but I consider it more of a sit theory because we're never going to break back out because we're pushing the back, right? So we're going to run basically 5-step hitch, working inside the nickel. If the nickel pushes, we're going to get the ball. We're going to force the inside play side backer, Mike or Will, however you have it drawn up. I have it drawn up this way because I've got the 3 techniques set to the boundary, so I've got the Mike on his side. So we would be working off the push of the nickel and the Will. Nickel pushes to the back. We can get the sit inside to the slot player, right? I like it a little bit better than snag stuff. Right now we're seeing some press quarters in practice, so the snag is kind of covered man-to-man a lot of times by the corner. If we run the sit, now we can put the pressure on the nickel to have to push. If the nickel pushes to the back, we can throw the sit. If the nickel doesn't match the back, we can get leverage on the back as long as they are not rotation or a squat corner. Now we can get, all right, the back the ball, and we've already proven that we will throw it to the back when we block it up on the front side, right? Now, we're forcing that Will linebacker to have to match the mechanic of the push, find his new number 3, which becomes the sit route. All right, so once we get comfortable seeing how those inside backers are going to push, the next thing that we would do is I would put in quarterback runs. All right, so easiest way to do it for us, if we're a gap team or a duo team, if you block duo rules and you just go straight gap, all right, now you can work your double off the A shade back to the mic, your base block on the 3 and the 5. Don't have to win on the 3 and the 5. Don't need to really move them off the ball. Just keep your leverage You already have a helmet inside based on the front. Keep your leverage, don't let them cross face. Get your good double on the nose to the mic. Obviously we don't get two doubles the way we're using a tight end right now, but we do get a simple gap down to the wheel. Take the tight end from the backside, kick the edge. Now off the sit theory we can run QB draw, alright, or QB duo. We also can run it, if you're comfortable with the way I would do it, if the shade was the other way. So if I had the shade to the backside and the 3 to the front side, alright, so if I had the shade backside, 3 front side, now with that front we can go ahead and block back. So we can block back on the shade, we can double the 3 to the mic, and now we can get the guard to kick and the tight end to wrap, and now we're running Q counter off of the sit play because we're forcing the will to have to try and widen. Now you can run it as a redraw theory if you want to, and pre-snap off the push motion. If the will or the mic pushes, now the quarterback can run the draw theory. If we have the tight end attached and we have 6 blockers in the core, I would rather block all 6 guys, right? And the only guy we really have to worry about is what's going on back there with the weak safety. Is he a spin down guy, or is he a guy that is going to force himself into the box on the backside, so that if he was working himself down, right, that might be a guy that we can't get to. So for us, once we go to quarterback run, I would take the mandatory outside release off of the X, and I would give him his ability to run access based on the coverage of the corner, right? So now we're in the tempo world. We've got answers. The quarterback's got answers, right? So off the tailback push, throw him the swing, go back to the sit theory, read it off the nickel. Now they're working to push to the will. You come back with a quarterback run, right? So it's kind of sequential in nature. I'm not saying that we would call these things in sequence and say, okay, you know, we're going to run one right after the other. But if I run swing or sit and I know that they're pushing, well then my coach is in the box or the coach is on the field that realized that the push mechanic. Once we know we're getting the push mechanic, now we come back to quarterback run. I like it because it's 6 on 6. Again, you could build in a redraw theory if you want to. Fine, not the end of the world. I like having 6 on 6. Again, trying to, if you run stick back here, you can control the weak safety, but then you're running a draw mechanic off of the movement of the will. If I include the tight end in a blocking scheme, I get my 6 on 6. I get everything I want in the box. I just got to worry about what the weak safety's doing, right? Because I probably can't work to him. So if they're a team that is split field, rotating down, weak safety's coming down, that's a guy that we know we've got to control with some access stuff back here, because if he creeps closer to the box, we won't be able to get to him if he fits the counter play, right? If the counter play hits front side, we should be okay. But if we have any issues where we don't get it where we want to and it makes its way back, that weak safety is going to be a little bit of an issue, right? And then the next thing that I would do off of that, if you like your tight ends, you want to get your tight ends involved, I would run a simple choice theory off the backside backer with the tight end, right? So again, we have this set up where we've got 2 speed to the field, and we're running all of our swing theories to the field, right? So we're pushing the back to the field. So we're pushing the back, working his way to the field. Alright, again, depending on how they set the front. Alright, or the defense. Obviously, with all these plays, guys, they're conducive to what the defense is doing and how they're playing, right? So we're just trying to build a little tempo menu where we can play fast, trying to build a world where we can do this and say, hey, we're always going to push this speed, we're always going to have these runs in place set a certain way. You can flip the speed if the ball's into the boundary and you want to get the speed to the field. This could always be a field deal, alright, but it's something that you can keep in a tempo gas menu of 5 things that you can do. I've seen people teach them as one-word plays. I've also seen people in a gas menu teach them as play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they teach the kids that way, right? So now I would come back off the initial push with the sit theory, mandatory outside release. Now let's go ahead and run stick with the H or the tight end, whatever you consider him, the H or the Y. If he's unmatched by a backer, he can sit it down. If he's matched, he can work it out. Again, hoping that that is a quarters or a high safety that's not going to match him down. If you're getting rotation down that way, then you're probably not in a great place to run the choice route. But if we feel like this is a high safety, quarter safety, maybe they are some type of hard cover 2 team, now we feel like we can get the unmatched sit, hitch, work the stick outside, right? So coverage is going to dictate some of those things. But now we're giving a guy a chance to win. And then off of that, what I really like is once you start to get the backers pushing, then you can just go stick return, right? So read away from the push, you get push, push. We know that we've got a ton of space in here. So now off the stick theory, we can go stick return. All right, get the mic outside and bring the stick back inside. Or, depending on how the mic is playing it, if the safety's a high player, you can give the H the choice to say, look, we can win out or we can win under, based on what the mic does, right? So you're basically giving the H the choice of where he can win. It's based off of them matching, pushing an inside backer in the box towards the 2-speed because you're pushing the tailback, right? So you come back and you get a choice theory. And then probably one of my favorite plays of all those is a read away from the mic, push theory, where we throw screens backside. So again, we're going to build in the simple sit theory on the front side. All right, so we're going to build in tailback push, we're going to run the sit, we're going to run mandatory outside release, right? And then depending on, again, coverage mechanics, what we think we're working against, if this is a push philosophy for us and a team that is going to match how you push, we're going to read the play side inside backer, we're going to run the sit theory front side. All right, if this was the front, we would have slide it away from the sit side, so we have slide it there, right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tight end on the backside and I'm going to work him flat for the corner. I'm going to fast hands and feet the X and tunnel him back inside. I'm going to leave the tackle on to get the end to rush up the field. I'm going to set the 3, throw and go, and work my way to the alley, probably for the weak safety. Center's going to set back to the 3. Depending on where the 3 is, if the 3 is outside the guard, he doesn't have to worry about a throw and go as long as the nose doesn't cross his face and we don't get a blitz, right? Now we've got a world where the center is going to set and work his way up to the mic. So now we've got 3-on-3 to the screen side. All we have to do is get blocks in space. We're bringing the X back, fast hands, feet, tunnel. And now if we get a push mechanic front side, all right, so the quarterback, if push equals X tunnel. Alright, so if we get a push mechanic, we're going to reset our feet and throw the X tunnel. We have 3-on-3 on the backside. Alright, no push, just work the sit side. So if they don't push, alright, then we're just going to work the sit side. Now, if you're playing a team that is rotational to the motion with the free safety, alright, well now you've got to have other answers built in there. We're talking about answers for a 2-high, pattern match structure, 2-read, press quarters, whatever it is that you're getting, to where we can work the push mechanic off of the inside backer and the nickel, alright, to where we throw the swing, work the sit, QB run off the push, H choice off the push, because we know if they push we're going to get a huge window working one-on-one against the mic, and then you come back and you run the X tunnel screen, right? So these are things to me that you can do in a gas menu, very up-tempo deal, 5 simple plays, right? I've talked about it from split backs before. You can do it 3x1 or 2x2. You can work it to where it's a push mechanic. You're trying to use the defense's coverage rules against them. You're trying to get them to push. You're trying to get guys to move. Once those guys move, you have answers backside, right? One of the standard answers for most people backside, day 1, for almost everybody, would be push mechanic, levels, tight end on the 10-yard dig, 5-yard thin there, right? And now if you get a push mechanic, you are just attacking the backside inside backer and you're going high-low off of him, because if there's a push mechanic, you know where all the space is, right? So a lot of people talk about it, read away from Mike, right? Ram plays, read away from Mike plays. Very effective, very easy to do in a gas menu, very easy to do up-tempo, very easy to coach one-word plays or numbers, right? If you want to look at it in the old school wing tee sequential world of sequential play calling, hey, the nickel's outside, we can't block them on the flare. Hey, we're trying to throw the sit, the inside backer's pushing to the sit. Let's go backside, read away from Mike, right? So it is sequential in nature, very easy to teach, all throws that your high school quarterback should be able to make. Trying to get your tailback ball in space, trying to work your slot in some space, right? Just an easy way, push the tempo, make them see the same, all right, stimulus of the back pushing, and then based on how they match the stimulus, you come back with your play call, right? So simple to do, not revolutionary by any means. We've done, again, I've done a 2-back, split back, push video with some deals if you're an inside zone team. So a couple different ways to block the quarterback run, however you feel most comfortable. But you get the 6-on-6, back in space, working the sit, all the good stuff, right? So hopefully this helps you guys. If I know a couple subscribers asked me about tailback push stuff in the tempo world and how I would do it. 11 personnel, these are probably the 5 things I would carry. Could you get for more deals? Sure you can, but you got to be able to get them taught. You got to be effective. So I would work these 5 mechanics. I would have the ability to call those 5 things at a very fast pace. Simple one-word deals. Formationally, it could be a one-word deal, right? This could be, everybody's got a different version of NASCAR, Indy, Daytona, whatever you want it to be, that replicates or you know, tells the kids that it's something with tempo, speed, right? Gas menu. This could be NASCAR. It could be Indy. Kids know to line up that way. If you want to flop and put the speed to the field all the time, you could certainly do that. The way I would always do it is if this was NASCAR for me, I would have an Indy formation that would have 3 receivers or something to the field or away from opposite the NASCAR theory. So now if the ball got on that boundary and I was in NASCAR, maybe I have a menu of 4 or 5 things I like to the field in 3x1, and I would call that Indy, right? So several different ways to do it. Don't exactly have to do it my way. This is what works best for me. The way my brain works, the way I think. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Push mechanics, working off match coverage. Obviously you got to beat the defense. You see if you're seeing more rotational 3D 1 high stuff, come up with a different package. This for me is 2 high pattern match quarters toolbox teams. Great way to affect the push. Great way to affect the match coverage underneath and get some of your playmakers involved. Make sure you always check out our great sponsors, the guys that I talked about at the beginning of the video, because they're what keep us going on this channel. Sorry it's been such a long time since I've done a full-time video trying to figure out space, whiteboard, upload, all that great stuff, but hopefully we get it rolling and we can keep these going from now on. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast. Thank you for everything you guys do for me. We just hit 27.4 thousand subscribers. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys